Joining us on the line now from the UK is Catherine Gilling. She was a draftswoman, interior designer and technical assistant by trade, but with a keen interest in history, travel and creative writing that inspired her to write. Her second novel is out now. It's called Corinna, and the tagline is, "Will a daring bid to save a beloved brother lead to romance or disaster?" Welcome to the book show, Catherine.
Thank you very much indeed.
It's lovely to have you with us. And without being too personal, am I right in saying that you started writing quite late?
Yes, I did, although I had the ideas and bits of paper all over the place for years. And I always used to read books and keep little ideas, and I thought, I've got to do something now. I've got all these bits of paper here. Don't waste the time. Just put them together and do something. So that's why I got to it. I started about a year or so ago, seriously, sitting down and doing it, so yes.
And have you enjoyed it? Are you glad you've started?
I really love it, yes. I mean, sometimes I sit down and think, I'll just do a little bit, and then hours later I'm still there thinking, I can do that bit, I can do that bit, I'll put that in.
Oh, that's good. So it's the right time to do it, do you think?
Yes, it is for me. And I also find, because it took a long time to write it, eventually, to begin with, but then I had to put it aside and then go back to it. Because there are bits you always think, I've done that twice. And I've got to double-check everything, and especially on the history side. And it doesn't flow, so you change this and you change that. But I find I need to put it away for about a few months and then go back to it before I'm happy with it. So that's what I do.
So has there been a lot of research then?
Quite a bit. Well, it's still like double-checking. I mean, the first one I did was like in Scotland, which I go to Scotland every year, and I've got relations up there, so I knew quite a lot about the places and the history. So that wasn't so bad. With this one, which is set in Austria, I'd been to Austria. So it was just a case of like checking the history period I wanted to use and what happened during those years. But I enjoyed the research as well, so it's fun. Yeah.
It can sometimes be difficult, I guess, to stop researching and write.
Yes, that's it. You think, I say, don't need that bit, just forget that bit, put it away.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the main characters in this story.
Right, okay. Well, Corinna is a younger sister of a brother she really, is sort of close to. And they're separated when they're young because they were rather mischievous, and their father sends them away. He's sent to a cadet thing, and she's sent to an aunt somewhere else. And then he runs away, he deserts from the army. So she does everything she can to help protect where he's gone and lead a false trail to the authorities and things like that. And then she happens to meet up with, or sort of comes across, a handsome, of course, army officer called Etienne and his friend, and he actually realises who she is, and she thinks he doesn't. And he's, of course, trying to find out where the brother's gone, and she's trying to sort of say, no, I don't know where he is, and all this. And this sort of battle goes on, and he's getting quite sort of tricky about how to find out his information. And this sort of goes on through about a year or so, I think, and he's sort of like putting out little hints there, and she's sort of thinking, no, I mustn't say this, mustn't say that, be careful what you say. And it sort of goes through different places where they sort of come across each other, and sort of like the back streets of cities, and the glittering ballrooms of Vienna. And it resolved, but I can't tell you the ending.
No, of course. No, please don't. So where did the inspiration for the story come from? Do you know?
Well, I think I had a sort of vague idea if I wanted a heroine for a change, because I did a hero in the previous one. And I'd read ages ago about the Battle of Sorrentino, which gave me the bit about having the soldier in it. And so I had to link like, okay, soldier, army cadet, and I link the two together, and I just build from there. I just do bits and pieces. I don't do the complete story straight off, because it doesn't come to me that way. I just create a scene, then another little bit, and then I think, oh yes, well I could do that there, and I could move that there, and that's how I build it up.
And is the way that you've done your second book similar to the way that you did your first book?
Yes, I seem to work that way, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You didn't sort of make mistakes in the first book and think, oh, I'll do it differently the second time. It's all worked swimmingly well.
Yes, it did.
How nice. So would you encourage others to write then?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I had to go like the self-publishing line because I was recommended to do that. But, you know, I think anyone who enjoys writing should give it a go. I've actually got my cousin trying to write now.
Oh, really?
Yes. But he's doing a children's book, so that's fine.
No competition then.
No competition at all.
So has it been easier than you thought?
Well, yes, I think once you start writing, you're into it, so that's fine. But I think all the bits sort of afterwards, you sort of double-checking and think, oh, that isn't right, I've got to move that. That didn't happen during that period. I've got to change that bit completely. You know, and then, of course, I think the writing is the inciting bit, but then the second part is like getting the book cover done, and that can be fun. You know, because the people who are designing it don't know the story.
No.
And they end up putting like the wrong castle on the front, the wrong period of costume, and you're thinking, no, you've got to change it, it's not right.
Yeah.
But yes, I enjoyed it all, actually, yes.
And have you already decided that you're going to write again and what it's going to be about?
Yes, I'm still writing at the moment. I've got 3 short stories to go together, and I've got another full-length novel which I'm working on. And I sort of, when I run out of ideas for one, I think, okay, leave that a little while and I'll go and do the other one. So I work from one to the other all the time, so yes.
So why did you decide to do some short stories?
Mainly because I couldn't get them long enough.
Okay.
You know, I'd written them and I think, no, that's not long enough for a proper novel, so I've got to keep them shorter. And I couldn't find anything to make them long enough for a novel, so I'm thinking, no, just don't pad it out, because everyone will see it padded out.
Sure.
Yeah, just keep it as it is.
So do you think they're going to be published? Will you do a book of short stories?
Yes, I've already talked to the printer already, so he says, yes, go for that. So,
Cool, it's all happening.
I know. That's the trouble is, once you start, you can't stop.
Yes, I bet. And what about the third novel then?
The third novel is, that's another period one, set in about 1760, George II time. And that's halfway through, I think, at the moment, yes.
Fantastic. And you like the historical fiction?
Yes, it's because I always like history so much. And even when I see things on the television that I don't know about, I'm thinking, oh, I've just got to go and look that up a bit. I want to know a bit more about that.
Yeah.
You know.
Where do you think that love of history came from?
I don't know. I really don't know. I've always had it as a child. Even when I used to do these art competitions and you got a book token, I'd always go and get a history book.
Really?
Yes.
What, a fiction book or actually a non-fiction book?
A non-fiction book, yeah.
Cool, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Are there particular parts of history that you have a particular interest in?
Not the very early, but anything sort of like from the War of the Roses onwards.
Right.
Yes.
Quite a long time then.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say like the beginning of the 20th century or something, but...
No, I sort of stop at about early Victorian, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think there's going to be lots more books? You're just going to keep going, I guess?
I'll just keep going and see how it goes. I mean, until I sort of think, oh, I've had enough now, but I don't think I will. But at least, I don't know, another 4 or 5 maybe. So.
Oh, lovely. So how would you explain your latest book then, Corinna, for people who are looking for a new book to read? What kind of people do you think would want to read this book?
I would say, because it's a heroine, maybe female, and people who like a little bit of history, adventure, a little bit of romance. It covers everything, really.
Yes. Oh, well done you. Well, if people want to get a copy of the book, it's called Corinna, and it's by Catherine Gilling, who we've been chatting to today. Catherine, thanks very much for joining us.
That's fine. Thank you very much.